Hey everyone, I'd like to welcome you to this short presentation here on how you can get a good solid start doing your own side gig or work from home business, whatever you want to call it. Something to help you get get moving forward and try to gain some freedom from some of the things that we all face these days. So this is a get started right with your business in 6 simple steps, or, as I like to say, this is the smart biz method. It couldn't be any easier, and we'll quickly go through it for you. I'm not going to take up a lot of your time, but it's going to give you a good idea of the steps that you need to go through, the questions that you need to ask yourself, and how you can prepare yourself to get a small business going that you can do from home, you can do on the side, you can do weekends. It depends on you and your situation. There are many different options, and this methodology will work for any kind of a niche, any kind of a business that you happen to be wanting to get involved in. So basically, there's 6 simple steps, and it works for every business that I've been involved in. And each one of these steps, in this case, includes 9 smaller tasks within that step. And it's a logical sequence of planning and implementing that you go through to get your business off the ground. Excuse me. It'll help you determine the niche, the target audiences that are out there, the best approach to use, the platforms that are available, the tools that you may need, and any other kinds of resources or training, things like that. A little tip before we get started: we have a community called the Smart Biz community, and within it, there's a ton of free and valuable information, tools, resources, coaching, training, uh, a reference library. And we do have, the stuff that we sell in there, but it's rock bottom prices, and you can have a look. And there's no cost to join the community. It is focused on people who are entrepreneurs, small business owners, or ones who want to be. So that's just a heads up. Now let's just go quickly through this, each one of these steps and the different tasks that are involved. And don't worry, I'm not going to keep you up too long with this. We'll go through the points, and then you can take it for what it's worth. Make some notes. Look at this a couple of times, perhaps. If there may be things that you'll catch the second time that you don't in the first. And join our community. So let's go through each. Basically, it's a series of questions. This whole process is a bunch of questions. And as you give answers to your questions and write it down and annotate it and plan and execute, you're going to see that your business is coming together. And here they are in general: what to do, why to do it, where to do it, how to know you're doing it, and then how to do it even better. That's the very, very simple process that every business goes through as they grow from a mom and pop to a major Walmart type operation. These are the basic, when it comes down to it, the steps involved. So let's look at each one. The first one is what to do. When you're thinking about doing a business, it's like, what do I do? Okay, first step, or first task, excuse me, is you want to determine a niche that's going to be worth the effort. A lot of this involves doing some research, and we're not going to really drill down into the weeds on that today. But this is the process that you're going to be going through. You're going to be asking yourselves these questions. You want to find out whether the niche that you're considering going into is going to have the value in it for it to make it worth you even going into it at all. So, and once you determine that you've got something that has promise, then what are the demographics of the target audience in the niche? What are the age groups? Are they married? Are they got, 1.5 kids on average? Are they homeowners and blah, 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 blah? That's going to give you a feel for what the target audience is that you're going after. The next thing that you're looking at is what kind of products or services do they need, or maybe they want. Sometimes they don't need it, but they want them. All right. Then the next thing you're going to do, the fourth task, is you want to look at the problems that they're having. How do you do that? You go into the forums, you go into the groups, you go onto the places where they're hanging out, and just kind of observe what's going on. What are they complaining about? What are they asking for? And that kind of leads right into the next task, which is where are the marketplaces? Where are these people hanging out in this niche, the target audience that you're, and what might be the best approach? You can kind of see and get a feel as you're doing all this research for a possible approach or a series of approaches that will work effectively for you. Next thing, what methods will you use to offer your products or services to these people? What might work best. How are you going to measure success or failure as you get started? How are you going to know that what you're doing is working? You have to have a way to measure it. So you need to track data. Now, the next thing is, does the niche fit close enough to your passions and goals to be a workable niche for you? And are you willing to put in the effort long term for that niche? Because if you've got something that you hate, you're really going to hate and probably not stick with the business. So you want to find something that kind of fits with what you're doing, or at least something you can put up with for the long term to make money out of it. All right, next thing we want to look at is why do it. Now, this is the very important step because if you don't have the passion or reason, a good enough reason, you're not going to stick with it. Just as I had mentioned at the end there, step one. So, do you have the passion, to go through the work of planning, setting it up, operating, and then growing that business? What are your needs right now? Now, how does this fit with what you need right now for your situation? And of course, longer term, it may be a bit different, and then you can make a compensation and go ahead and bite the bullet. But this is where you're going to have to go through and analyze what your particular situation is. And are you ready mentally to leverage the opportunity with having a small business? It can potentially give you a great deal of freedom. And do you have the determination and the internal fortitude to make it successful, no matter the obstacle that you may face? These are all questions you need to ask yourself. And while you're looking at that, you want to look at the goals for your life. How does that fit with what you're looking at doing with your niche? What about your career? What about your family? These are all things that you need to consider when you're looking at a business to go into. Do you feel that you have the desire and the drive to make a positive difference in the niche that you're considering? If you don't, then I would look elsewhere. And going back to the nuts and bolts, what are your financial goals right now, midterm and long term? How and when are you going to achieve them, and how does this niche fit in with that set of goals? And lastly, and this really falls into the why do it, is true freedom from the 9 to 5 routine and the horrible boss that you may have, something that you really want. Is something that you're willing to invest the time and effort to build that business, to achieve that freedom that comes with having your own small business? If so, then you can probably proceed to the next step, which is where to do your business, where to set it up, where to operate it from. The target audience hangs out on what platforms? Make notes as you're doing your research. And do you have the skills to build an audience with those people? To build trust, to build authority, and how will you do that? We need to have a website or a blog to publish content as you establish your footprint. How are you going to establish yourself and let these members of that target audience know that you exist and you can help? And is the niche that you're looking at, is it conducive to building an online shop, perhaps, where you could offer your products and services? That's just an option. These are all things you want to look at as to how you're going to approach the business and where you're going to get it going and operational. Are there forums, communities, or other platform locations where your target audience hangs out at? And you should know that from your research, but you want to keep on looking as well as to the best approach to use. Do you have any kind of an offline brick and mortar opportunity with the niche that you're looking at? And is there a potential to offer your products and services using, say, live streaming marketing? I've seen a lot of people make good money doing that, but it just depends. Next thing you want to look at is could you possibly establish a vlog YouTube channel, and then you could use some of the other platforms that are out there, plus podcasting platforms, and that's another way to hit your target audience, because a lot of them don't just do one sort, or they stick to one sort, and if you're only doing, say, blog posts, it's going to limit your reach, and you want to have different avenues of content out there for them to absorb and then come in and find you. Right along in those lines, this is kind of old school. These last things, is there a way to use TV or radio in your marketing efforts at a reasonable price? Starting out, some maybe not at the beginning, maybe later, who knows? And have you considered trying some other conventional means of marketing, such as direct mail, local news, paper ads, or even on site visits? Like in the old days when I was doing this, when I first started out 20 some years ago. Okay, let's move on to the next step, how to do it. Okay, you've kind of gotten everything together. You've got the right mindset. You've gotten your niche down. You've looked at your approaches to the market. You know the kind of products that you're going to be doing. Now it gets down into the nitty gritty of how are you going to do it? What kind of tools are you going to need, i.e., like an autoresponder, hosting, automation, productivity, marketing tools, things like that. Next thing you want to look at is what resources will you need to help you create content and marketing materials. How are you going to plan and track your operation? I'm talking about planners and journals and things like that with this. And how are you going to build a leads list? What mechanism? Because these days people are online, and in order to reach them, you're going to need to reach out via email. It's still the most effective marketing method that's out there. Have you determined your overall strategy and objective, and then built a content plan around it, so it kind of complements what it is you're trying to do? Whatever the content that you're creating all fits together and pushes towards one goal that you have for your operation. And the same applies to your social media marketing plans, and as well as your overall strategy and marketing plan. All of these need to mesh together. And it can be quite complicated, but it is not complicated if you're sitting down and you've got the three plans together there, and you've got your business daily planner, calendar, and book that you are using to annotate what your tasks are, and you're organized, and you've got then a plan, and you're in lockstep going forward. Everything kind of is in tune and works. Your approach when you're setting up on how to do it, you also need to think about sales funnels. Are you going to use shops? Are you going to use other kinds of methods that we've already talked about to sell? And how are you going to get your leads to market to? And once you do have them, how are you going to nurture that relationship to turn them into buyers? That's the eventual goal, of course. That's the how. You have to think through all of that as you're going along. To kind of organize and put it all together, I recommend, even if you're not going out for financing, most small businesses are just they're self-financed, and they're not looking for partners or anything like that. So you don't need a big fancy, glossy business plan that's 70 pages long with all kinds of graphics and so on and so forth. What you need is a simple plan that is going to work for you, that'll keep you on track, that'll kind of show you the path forward. And then from that, you can build your objectives and tasks and put it into a timeline, and then execute. That's how to do it. Now you've moved to the next step, how to know you're doing it. Once you start executing, you want to be able to see what all that effort is doing for you. So are you using tracking tools to see how the target audience is reacting and responding to all the work that you're doing? And are you planning your daily task and following up with notes and annotating what's going on and what's going good, what's going not good, and then adjusting as you go along? It's something you need to consider. And once you get started, do this on a regular basis, make it become a habit. Time management and so on and so forth is very important. because generally, if you're just starting a small business from home, you don't have a lot of time because you're probably doing a lot of other things, you know. Plus, you got the family right there with you, so it can be quite hard, stressful. The thing that you want to do is, you know, review regularly the status of your business operation. As you're taking these notes, take out time, review, see what's going good, you know, what was lacking and how you could improve it. And then it's like, even if you only get 1% better a day, that's 30% in a month. So that's the attitude to take with it. That's how you know you're doing it. Huh. And are you using the automation tools to get the most out of the hours that you're spending with your business? If not, as you're doing this review and you see that maybe there's some areas where you could improve upon, then, you know, look at getting some different automation tools. And are you testing different versions of your sales pages? Now, this is very, very important. You know, you may think it looks great, and you know maybe your copywriter thinks that they're, you know, the cat's meow, but perhaps it's not even working for you. So you need to be testing different versions all the time and see what works better, and then continually improve upon your pages and so on and so forth. And you also, of course, want to see using pixels and other tracking means that are out there. We have some within our Smart Biz inventory where you can actually track what's going on and see the results, and that helps you. That helps you, you know, see what's working, what's not working. It'll help you increase your sales. All right, next thing you want to do is request feedback from the target audience to get their input, or you know, let them, you know, give them an opportunity to tell you what is working for them or what isn't. The next item is also very important, and that is surveys. You know, that gives them an opportunity to give you feedback. Your target audience, your buyers, your clients, and even outside that audience, if it's a shoulder audience. Another way to get some feedback as to how you're doing is if you have an affiliate program, and you should, you can get feedback from your affiliates, and they can tell you what's working for them, what's not working, what they need, what they don't have. It's a win win because they will get more sales and you get more profit.
Okay, the next step we're going to look at is the last step, how to do it even better. Now, there's 9 steps in this last step, or 9 tasks, and these are going to help you get your business growing even faster. And the first thing you're going to look at is, are you collecting data from all the points mentioned up to this point in all the steps that we've gone through, and then using that data to increase your traffic, your sales, and of course your profits. The next thing you want to look at is, do you have contacts to go further and get further training, coaching, mentoring, and acquire any skills that you may need to grow your business? And the next thing you want to look at is, do you have a group of like-minded entrepreneurs surrounding you where you can exchange ideas, get problems solved, push each other forward, perhaps? These are all things that will help you grow your business. The next thing, are you keeping up with the trends? Any kind of flash opportunities that may be out there? Are you looking at case studies? All this kind of stuff will help you grow your own business as you incorporate ideas into what you're doing. The next thing you want to look at, and how to do it even better, is, as you review your data, your sales figures, your results, are you looking for ways to improve these areas of your business? And again, that's going to help you get more done and earn more money. The next task you want to look at is, have you developed any kind of shoulder products, that are related products to what you're doing, and currently, where you can increase your sales and perhaps your audience and grow your business. Now, the next area that we want to look at is, are you constantly looking for ways to improve efficiencies example, using more automation and marketing tools. There's always new stuff coming out in the market, and you want to stay up with what's going on because it's going to help you. Next thing you want to look at is, have you looked into hiring of part-time workers to leverage your business, to increase sales and your profits? Because if you're spending less time doing the mundane day-to-day tasks and you've got somebody that can do it who's qualified, that's going to free you up to do the big picture type things that will help you plan and grow your business. The last thing you want to look at is, once you've succeeded with all your efforts, you want to look at new products and new marketplaces, new ways to get the word out to the audience that may be out there, or your growing audience, and then you can increase your sales in that way as well. So that about wraps up the what we've got for you on this. And now let's move on to how you're going to put it all together.
Talked about here the 6 steps. Write down your tasks and set up a timeline for yourself. Go through and with discipline, address each one of them. And at the end, what you're going to end up coming up with is a good plan, and then you're going to be able to execute and get started. I recommend also that you consider the SWOT elements: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, because you need to know what's out there in the environment around you. It's not just, you might think you have the best ideas in sliced bread, or you got a better mousetrap, or whatever it is, but you need to know what's going on out in the market, and then evaluate how that compares to what it is that you're putting together. Now, within our Smart Biz community, you're going to find that we have some planner courses for you, and also templates and things at no cost. We want to help you get started. So join the community. You can use this to take notes, and then also the training to put your business plan together. Again, it doesn't have to be a big fancy thing. And there's also resources in there, there's training in there, there's tools in there, and a bunch of like-minded entrepreneurs that will be willing to work with you. You help them, they help you. You got coaching from us on a regular basis. We're all putting our input within the community and trying to help each other out. It is a private community, like-minded members, no distractions, and you can register for free at smartbiz.tribeplatform.com. The sky is limitless, as you know, but you have to get off the ground to get up to that sky. So reach for the stars with us, with Smart Biz. Tap into our assets. That way you can build your assets and your own business and your freedom. So thank you very much. I do appreciate your time, and we'll see you on the inside. Let's do this.